If you have a massive space, I'm talking open plan living area, an office or classroom, your typical air purifier is just not going to cut it. And that's where these come in. The Smart Air Blast and the Smart Air Blast Mini. Now these are commercial grade air purifiers made completely out of metal, and today we're going to put both of them through our test. Everything I'll share with you today is based on my experience and first-hand data. Our test process, if you want to find out more. For those who don't want to listen to my full review, here are the 4 things I don't like and the 4 things I love about the Smart Air Blast range. Firstly, what I don't like. So both units are extremely heavy, with the Blast weighing 38 kilos and the Blast Mini 26 kilos. They're also bulky and have a design that feels quite utilitarian, so they won't be a good fit for everyone. They also consume significantly more energy than its competitors. They come at a high price, with the Blast costing a little over $1,000 and the Mini close to $700 in the United States. Now what I really like, it has unmatched raw air cleaning power. The Blast is the fastest air purifier we've ever tested. They also offer exceptional performance even at its quiet speeds. The stainless steel body makes them super durable in the long run, and they're set and forget units that don't use apps or any fancy modes, and you can just use them with a smart plug. By the way, if you appreciate our independent reviews, then be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Okay, let's jump into the full review. The metal chassis means that these devices can handle bumps and scrapes of a busy environment, but the trade-off is weight. And these things are heavy. The Blast Mini weighs 26 kilos and the Blast weighs 38 kilos. They both come with wheels, but you will need 2 people to move the larger Blast upstairs and downstairs. The design itself is the same across both models. There is a large fan that pulls air from the back into the carbon and HEPA filters at the front, where clean air flows through the front plate. We bought our Blast Mini at the beginning of 2024, and I noticed that it was easy to remove the top cover and expose the fan even when the device was running. I shared this information with Smart Air, and they have now added 2 bolts on each side. We received the new Blast in 2025, and the top cover can only be removed once you unscrew both bolts. This is great to see, as we have been working with Safe Air Schools to test air purifiers for classrooms, and the Blast is currently at the top of the list. Another concern I have was the possibility of the Blast tipping over, as it is quite tall and narrow, so it was good to see that Smart Air offers a set of placement brackets and screws for affixing the Blast to the wall. In terms of controls, both models feature the same one dial operation with a simple rotary switch with 3 different fan speeds. There's no app support, auto mode, or any of the smart features that you would find with a standard air purifier, but you can use any type of smart plug to turn the Blast and Blast Mini on and off with a timer. And if there is a power cut, both of these devices will come back on automatically without you having to switch them on, which is something that you would have to do with most other manufacturers. To access the filters, you remove the top cover by unscrewing the screws at each side. Once the top cover is out of the way, you'll be able to remove the front plate and get access to the filters. Both models also come with a removable pre-filter that's at the back, and it's secured by a screw. Once you've unscrewed it, you can slide the pre-filter out and clean it without having to access the filters at the front. Speaking of filters, you'll get a choice of HEPA only or HEPA and carbon. We can compare the carbon amounts to other air purifiers we reviewed. The Blast Mini has more carbon than standard devices, but still has less than the Dyson BPO6, whilst the Blast has the 3rd largest amount of carbon we've seen after the IQ Air Health Pro Plus and the Austin Air HealthMate. Whether you choose to go with the HEPA only or the HEPA and carbon, the filters in these Smart Air units are much larger than what we see in your standard air purifier. And this larger surface area will be key to achieve the high performance that they promise. So let me show you what happened when we put these devices through our performance test. Smart Air hasn't sent these devices to AHAM for CADR testing, but I have conducted my own particle removal test and estimated PM1 CADR at different fan speeds for both units. But let's just first start with the Blast Mini. According to our Purple Air sensor, it needed 15 minutes to clear our 728 cubic feet test room of all PM1 particles when running at top speed. Based on this result, we estimate a PM1 CADR of 400 CFM, which does match up with the top speed CADR of 743 cubic meters per hour or 437 CFM shared by Smart Air. This is an impressive result, but let's see what we can get with a larger Blast. At top speed, it took 11 minutes to clean our test room, which is the fastest speed we've seen from over 100 air purifiers we've tested to date. Based on the natural ventilation of our test room, we estimate a PM1 CADR of 547 CFM, which aligns with the top speed CADR of 950 cubic meters per hour or 559 CFM, which is shared by Smart Air. When looking at CADR versus price across other high CADR devices, I think that both Smart Air units offer fair value, but PC Fan kits from AirFanta and Clean Air kits stands out from the rest. But what about air cleaning performance at the lowest fan speeds that will generate less sound? We measured how much sound the Smart Air Blast and Mini create at each fan speed. But sound is subjective, so please have a listen for yourself. At top speed, both the Blast and the Blast Mini are quieter than similar powered IQ Air Atom X, but louder than the Air Mega Pro X from Kowei. Here too, we see the luggable XL7 Ultra from Clean Air Kit stand out thanks to its power at super quiet operation. I also tested the particle removal speed of both devices running at speed 1, which is the only fan speed that generates less than 45 decibels of noise. The Blast Mini took 22 minutes to clean our test room, whereas the larger Blast needed just 60 minutes to reach PM10. I estimate a PM1 CADR at speed 1 of 272 CFM for the Blast Mini and 375 CFM for the Blast. This means that even when running at the lowest speeds, the Blast Mini can still provide 5 air changes per hour in spaces up to 408 square feet, and the bigger Blast can handle spaces up to 562 square feet. This is impressive quiet performance. Both Smart Air devices rank in the top 3 best performing high CADR devices when running at fan speeds that generate less than 45 decibels of noise, making them excellent choice for use in offices and classrooms. I repeated our particle removal test at every fan speed for both units to estimate the PM1 CADR figures based on the natural ventilation of our test room. But let's look at energy consumption to see how much power you'll need to run these large air purifiers. We used our power meter to measure how much energy the Blast and the Blast Mini pull at each fan speed and on standby. Based on the average US utility rate as of August 2025, running the Blast Mini at top speed 24/7 will cost you $135.51, and the Blast will add $149.95 to your yearly energy bill. So while these commercial air purifiers can achieve excellent levels of air cleaning performance, they understandably use a lot more energy compared to other high CADR air purifiers. But let's look at the other main factor that affects yearly running costs, the filter replacements. According to Smart Air, you can expect to change the filters every 12 to 13 months for the Blast Mini and every 19 to 22 months for the Blast. As always, I will use the shorter estimates for my calculation. For the Blast Mini, you can buy a replacement HEPA filter for $149.99, and this will give you a year's worth of filter life. For the Blast, a replacement costs $219.99, so a year's worth of filters will set you back $138.94. When combining these costs with annual energy consumption, it becomes clear that while the filter costs are in line with other high CADR devices, the energy consumption costs are much higher. Overall, running costs for the Blast and the Blast Mini are higher than most except for the DIY 30x20 CR box and the IQ Air Atom X, which is expensive to buy and expensive to run. So who are these air purifiers actually for? Let's be honest, if you're looking for a sleek air purifier that blends into your living room, this isn't it. The design of the Blast and the Blast Mini is purely functional, so it looks utilitarian compared to models like the IQ Air Atom X and the Kowei Air Mega Pro X. Plus, they both lack features that you'll find in your standard air purifiers like onboard air quality sensors, smart modes, timers, and app connectivity. But I don't think Smart Air designed these devices for this type of consumer. These are commercial units designed to be used in high traffic places used by hundreds of people like schools, offices, concert venues, or gyms. For these use cases, the quiet performance, simplicity, durability, and long filter life of the Blast and the Blast Mini will be a significant benefit. The main downside is that both of these units are power hungry, but for those who need to clean the air in huge spaces where sound matters, there is nothing else on the market that comes close to what Smart Air has created. It makes sense that the Smart Air Blast range is used in concerts, schools, and hospitals. So if you need a high CADR durable air purifier for a large space that you can set and forget, then check out the Blast and the Blast Mini. And if you like what Smart Air is bringing to the table but looking for a more affordable option, then make sure to check out my review of the SA600. It's a smaller air purifier with 2 H13 HEPA filters and 2 gas filters with activated carbon. One thing to note is the prices I've used throughout this video were taken from Smart Air's US website, but I have noticed that the prices in the UK are much lower. You can get a Blast Mini without carbon for £432 in the UK, and the HEPA only version of the Blast costs £642. This is excellent news considering that most of the high CADR models I included in our comparisons just aren't available in this country. As I mentioned briefly in the intro, we are currently working with Safe Air Schools to find the best value air purifiers for classrooms in the UK schools. And with these prices, the Smart Air Blast range tops our rankings for UK schools. If you do decide to buy a Smart Air device after watching this video, please use the links in the description. As a small channel, using these links is a huge help and allows us to make more reviews like this one. As always, let me know if you have any comments below, and I'll see you all in the next video. Whew.